I ran away from home at 15 with nothing more than a bag and the clothes on my back. I had my phone, a phone charger, a book, a few pairs of extra clothes, and $40 in quarters. That was it. After years of my mom being up my hoo-ha, overreacting to things, emotionally and physically abusing me, I was sick of her crap. I had thought about running away. I would think about it all the time. I would kind of have maladaptive daydreams where I would go off in my head, miss a whole lesson in class because I'm daydreaming about how I would run away from home if I ever had the guts. But I always told myself, oh no, I wouldn't actually do it. Well, it turns out if you think about something enough, it makes it easier to actually do it when things get crazy. So even though when things were calm, I was like, oh, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't actually run away, girl. That's not me. The moment things hit the fan and my mom's mental illness got wild again, I did it. I had the balls all of a sudden. I don't know where it came from. It would have been nice to run away at 16 maybe when I could drive, because at this point I couldn't drive yet, but I didn't care. I'll go on foot. I had my whole plan mapped out in my head from thinking about it all the time. I knew exactly where I was gonna go, which is good because my mom chased after me. Suddenly all those years of putting me in cross country and track against my will bit her in the butt because she was not catching me. Welcome back, guys. It's Friday at 3 or Saturday at noon, probably Saturday at noon because I'm filming this on a Thursday. I haven't been feeling great this week because this vein right here, or this artery in my neck right here, has not been feeling good. Like whenever I look too far to the side, it kind of feels weird. Yeah, I'm gonna get that checked out next week. My blood pressure is pretty normal, so I don't know what it is. Make sure to grab some snacks and bit that wrong. Get a drink for yourself because I don't know how long I'll be talking. I could yap for 20 minutes or I could yap for 45. We're gonna see. Now you're probably thinking, Jess, or Dork, whatever you refer to my dumbass as, Jess, what made you run away in the end? Like, what was the straw that broke the camel's back? Well, I'll tell you. I was 15 and I was in the car with my mom and we were going down Coon Path, which is a highway near where I grew up. I only had my temps for a couple weeks at this point, so I was still learning the ropes, and this was one of my first times on Coon Path driving it myself. My dad was in the passenger seat and my mom was behind me. She was kind of grumpy because she just wanted to drive home, but I needed to get my 50 hours of driving time in for driving school. So my dad said, come on, Linda, let Jess practice. When else are we gonna have time to practice with her schedule, you know, because I was so busy with school and with sports. So my mom relented and was like, fine. And she let me get in the front. Now I was driving a 2010 Ford Escape. I'll put a picture here if I can. So not like the biggest vehicle, but it wasn't a small Toyota Camry by any means. I have the hang of it. I was always really good about staying in my own lane. I'm not sure exactly what I did that made my mom mad. I think I was maybe too close to the person in front of me, so I had to slam the brakes really hard and that made my mom mad, or maybe I forgot to put on my turn signal or didn't wait long enough at a stop sign. I don't know what it was, but my mom got super mad at something I did while we were driving and she started kicking my seat. Yeah, I'm 15, a student driver, and my mom starts kicking my seat because she's throwing a fit. Oh my god, this is why you should have let me drive. Do you see this? She's gonna wreck my car. I don't want her driving my car. She can train in your truck. How do you expect her to learn how to drive in a Ford 350? I'll put what his truck looked like right here. How the hell do you expect her to learn how to drive in that? I don't know, but she's not driving my car. She's gonna wreck it. Well, I start getting frustrated and I tell my dad, can you tell her to quit kicking my seat? That's crazy. I'm trying to drive here and focus and she's kicking my seat. She could cause an accident, and if I wreck, it'll be her fault because she was kicking my seat, distracting me. She was kicking it hard enough that every time it happened, I would go like this. My dad yells, Linda, quit kicking the seat. And finally, I'm fed up, so I start crying and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to practice driving anymore. I'm gonna pull off to the side and we can switch around. And my mom was like, oh my god, now you're wasting my time. Now you won't even drive home. We shouldn't even have switched at all. And it's like, dude, I wanted to drive until you started kicking my seat and yelling at me for a mistake you probably made when you were learning how to drive. So at this point, my dad's mad too. He's like on her side for some reason. Why didn't you just drive the rest of the way home, you baby? You're not gonna practice at all. The next time you want to practice, we're not gonna do it at all. And I'm thinking, why am I getting blamed when she was kicking my seat? So I'm in the back now. My mom's in the passenger and my dad's driving. Everyone's grumpy. I'm crying and my mom's just yelling at me and she's like, you just wait till we get home. I'm gonna take your laptop. And it's like, really? I'm gonna lose my computer for the rest of the weekend, not be able to socialize with my friends, stream anything, play any games because of your overreaction to a mistake when I'm learning how to drive. I've had my temps for 2 weeks. I'm barely 15. It's so unfair. That was the thing that really got to me. I had undiagnosed autism, okay? Nobody knew I had autism, but something that was very prevalent in my autism and still is fairness. I always hated it when things weren't fair. I would always notice it in school if a kid was getting more accolades than other kids, or if a kid was getting picked more just because his parent was the principal at the school. I literally lost an award in high school because the kid that won had a dad that worked at the school, even though I had literally broken 6 school records, went to state 6 different times, and all that kid did was compete in 3 different sports. He wasn't even the captain of any of them. The kid was dating this girl whose dad was the principal, so it was nepotism. I lost because of nepotism. oh, the kid that got first in the contest is the same kid whose mom is our sub all the time. Like, that's not a coincidence, is it? Talking about you, Will Young. You were not a better speller than me, okay? I would always get second to him on like spelling things, or when we were learning our mathematics, like I would get second to him and he would always get first. And it's like, dude, they totally were giving him extra practice or something. So anyway, a big thing with me as a kid was fairness, and my mom was not fair, and I was sick of her not being fair. If I snuck out at 3 a.m. and went to a party and smoked weed and got drunk and wrecked my car on the way home, yeah, take my phone, take my laptop, ground me. Sure, I get it. But when all I do is get a C+ on a test, or I didn't run how she wanted that week, I got second and my teammate got first, so my second now doesn't matter because someone else got first. She can't say that I was the fastest on the team. She has to read another mom post that about their child, and that just kills my mom. So the only way to punish me for her feeling embarrassed that she doesn't get to brag about me that week is by taking something from me. She thinks that if I lose something every time I don't perform well, that I'll perform better for her all the time. That's not the case. I fell out of love with the sport. I hated unfairness. So I'm like, here we go. I didn't do anything wrong, but make a mistake learning how to drive, which is something I should be free to do. It's not like I colored on a wall or something when I know I'm not supposed to do that. I forgot to put on a turn signal, or I forgot to keep 3 seconds between me and the next car. Boo-hoo. It's not like I rear-ended the guy. I stopped in time. I've never been in an accident. Knock on wood. So sometime between when I switched out of the driver's seat and got in the back of the car and the house, I decided in my head that I'm gonna run away. And I even said it. I'm like, when I get home, I'm gonna pack my stuff and leave. You better not. You think you're gonna do that, but you're not. Well, the moment we got home, I get out of the car first and I run inside. I already had my $40 in quarters in a bag. It's almost as if I knew I was gonna do this. I grabbed the same duffel I always grabbed in my daydreams, and I threw some clothes in it. My phone charger, my phone, my cell phone, a book, a little blanket, and the stack of change. And then I go out my window. The moment my feet hit the grass, I started jogging. I closed the window. I'm polite. But then I started jogging up the hill because we had 14 acres still at this point. But that's not what I was gonna hide on because I'm not silly. Of course, they're gonna check our land first. I was gonna cut across the neighbor's farmland because I grew up in the boonies, guys. I grew up in the boonies. There were farms all around us, just miles and miles of fields and trees, okay? That's where I was lucky enough to grow up. So I already knew in my head the exact property that I was gonna go to, and it was my childhood friend's house down the street. We'll call her Callie. They had several garages, and I knew one that they didn't use often. I was gonna sneak across all of the property, like it was a mile trek to their house. I was gonna trek a mile across the meadows and all the fields and through the woods until I got to their property, and then I was gonna hide in the garage that was connected to their basketball court because it was far away from the house, and I could sneak in there, open the sliding door that's never locked, and hide there without anyone seeing me or finding out. And I knew when we were like 10 that there was a mini trampoline for exercise in there, and I was hoping that after 5 years it was still there so I could sit on the trampoline and kind of huddle up and the trampoline would be kind of soft. Well, as I'm going up the hill to start my trek to get the hell away, my mom comes out of the house. She just so happened to come out of the house. Maybe she heard the window shut, I don't know, but she sees me going up the hill and she yells to my dad, "Jess is going up the hill, Jess is going up the hill." And I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? What are the odds? So I start jogging faster and I look behind me and my mom's tailing me, but she's not even running. Like, she's not that concerned. She's marching, but she's not going that fast. I don't think she could run up the hill if she tried though, let's be real. I jog up this giant field and then there's a dirt path across the next field. The next field's kind of flat, so I know I need to book it across that flat field before my mom makes it over the hill, or she's gonna see what dirt path I take. She's gonna know what way I'm going. So I sprint like I never have before, duffel bag around me. It's not slowing me down. I don't care because I'm not letting my mom catch me. I go and I don't look behind me until I break into the tree line. Once I break into the woods, I go in a ways and then I turn and look over my head and I can just see my mom's hair as she pops over the mountainside, hillside, whatever. And that's when I crouch down and I keep going through the trees and I can hear her yelling my name. She's starting to sound more concerned. It makes me feel a little bad, but not enough to stop what I'm doing. So I keep going through the trees. Okay, I'm going. After about 5 minutes of walking, I stop and I collect my breath, you know? I set all my stuff down and I pull my phone out and I turn it off because I'm thinking I don't want my mom to call Verizon and somehow track the phone. So I turn it off until I need it. I can't use it for anything anyway because my mom has already disconnected my phone from the plan. She could go on the website and just select what phone to turn off temporarily service from. So she had already done that on the drive home as a punishment. Forgot to point that out. But I brought the phone anyway because I figured once they realize I'm not coming back, they'll turn it back on to talk to me, which is why I turned it off because I started getting text messages. They're going to track this somehow if I don't turn it off now because I wasn't responding to messages. I was gone, F you. So I turned my phone off and I put it away and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to Callie's like I've always planned in my maladaptive daydreams because that garage is the safest place for me. I go there, okay? As I'm walking, I see the red Escape fly by. I'm about half a football field away from the road, so I can see the road and cars coming, but they can't see me. Forest is thick. I keep going and I make it to the last field. It's maybe a full football field away from the garage. I can see Callie's garage, the one I was gonna hide in. At this point, Callie's in college in another state, so she's not even there. Or maybe she was a senior at the time. I'm not completely sure. I wasn't gonna let her know what I was doing. If I told Callie that I was coming there, her parents would let my parents know, and I didn't want them to know where I was yet. Okay, I wanted peace and quiet. I wanted time away. I was done with my mom. She took my computer away already anyway, supposedly, so I'm gonna hang out in the woods a few days, decompress, read my book, and they can worry. And then I'll figure out what I'm doing next. I don't know. I'll find a friend to go to that won't rat on me. That was the plan. Well, as I'm looking at Callie's garage, I then remember that my godparents, which are a lot closer to the property that I just trekked from, like I've already walked a mile away from home when I realized my godparents literally have a loft above their garage, and they said I'm welcome to use that anytime. No questions asked. I don't gotta knock on the door or nothing. I can just go up there with my blankets and pillows and I can rest on the couch. And I hadn't done that yet, but I'm like, why didn't I go there? It's a place to actually lay and sleep. So now I decide, okay, I just walked a mile this way. I'm gonna walk a mile back, cut back across our property, and then go hide at my godparents in their loft, since that sounds cozier than being in a dirty garage that's barely used with cement floors. Let's be real. Plus, I also know in their loft they have an old TV on wheels and some VHS tapes, so I was hoping that would be working. I could literally watch a movie up there. As I'm walking back across, I decided to turn my phone on just to make sure I'm not getting any crazy threats like we're gonna call the police or the SWAT team right now or something. I don't know. And there wasn't anything, but I did have a missed call from my friend that was one of my teammates whose mom really cared about me. I thought it was genuine. They were just trying to convert me to Christianity. I was so desperate for a shoulder to cry on because my mom was so awful, and other teammates' moms could see that, the way she would act when I wouldn't win or when I wouldn't run as fast as she wanted to. So I didn't pick up on the fact that every time I hung out with this teammate and her mom or their family, I would always leave with a church pamphlet or a DVD about Jesus or a Bible. Literally every time I left their house, there would be some new religious gift that they'd given me. And it's like, okay, that's trying to convert somebody, okay? That's manipulation. It's not like I was giving her pride stickers or something every time I was there. I've hung out with other Christians and they don't hand me a Bible every time I leave or a DVD of Jesus getting crucified and stuff like that. They don't try to invite me to their church stuff. They don't really mention it at all because they're like normal. I wish more of you would act like that and not like the friend I'm describing. Nothing against Christians, just only against the ones that act like the friend I'm describing. We're gonna call this friend Harley. Okay, her name's Harley and her mom can be Harley's mom. When I saw the missed call from Harley, I debated answering it because I was still steadfast in my decision. Like, I want to run away from home. If I answer that call, they're gonna want to come pick me up or something. But I'd already been gone for like 2 hours at this point. It was kind of cold. It was getting cold. My phone only had 40% left, so I thought turning it off and on is taking battery. I need to decide now, like, if I'm gonna stick this out or if I'm gonna go stay somewhere, because soon nobody's gonna be able to reach me. Because where am I gonna charge the phone? Maybe the loft that I'm gonna go to at my godparents above the garage has an outlet, but I don't know that for sure. So I decide to answer Harley's next incoming call. That came within 5 seconds of turning the phone on, because what do I have to lose? Maybe they can offer me asylum temporarily and this time not drag me to church. I stayed there once because I had nowhere to go, and the only way they'd let me stay is if I went to church the next day. And I found another place to stay where they weren't gonna make me do that, but they literally said, no, please stay with us. Just come. We're not gonna drive you to the other friends. You're already here, so you're coming tomorrow. Like, I was literally forced to go to church. And then the next day, their dad, who never does the Sunday school service, he doesn't usually do that, decided to preach the Sunday school that day. And the whole time we were in there, which was like at 2 hours, he looked at me while he preached. And the topic that day was, you need to follow Christ and open your heart to him or you're gonna burn in hell and you'll regret it. Every time he would reference how it'll be the biggest mistake you ever make, he would make eye contact with me. So that was awful. Still, I'm desperate. These people are the only ones that care. They might have ulterior motives, but I don't know that at this point, nor would I have really probably cared yet, because I'm desperate. So I answer Harley's call, and immediately they're trying to convince me to go back to the road where they're going back and forth, I guess, looking for me and getting in their car. After about 15 minutes of me trying to figure out if I'm gonna do that, I finally relent and I decide, okay, I'll get in the car because I can always get back out of it and just take off again, right? This is just to warm myself up and decide what I'm doing, because I didn't really have a plan. I can't drive yet. Where am I going on foot? I can't stay in that loft forever, even if I make it there. I'm gonna get hungry. I got $40 in quarters. There's a gas station another mile down the road. I could go to that. So I tell Harley, okay, well, we're on the phone. Okay, yeah, I'll get in your car. Where are you? Oh, we're just down the road. Where are you? We'll turn around. So I tell them I'm kind of past Callie's driveway, and they meet me there. I come out of the trees looking like a goober. They look kind of horrified. Wow, you really were in the woods. Yeah, where else am I gonna go? I don't have a car. So I get in their car. Then mom's like, what is your plan? Why did you run away? And I kind of give them the spiel of how my mom was acting about my driving. Me making a mistake in driving just was her excuse to punish me. Not that that's a better reason than me not placing where she wanted. Like, I can always control how I feel on a race day. You're gonna have off days. I wasn't allowed to have off days like everyone else. Yay me. How fun a sport. How fun is a sport that you're not allowed to lose or you lose all your electronics? Yay, I'm so excited to be a runner. Well, while we're in the car, they're kind of talking to me. Harley's mom is being really kind. She was really nice here. They're asking me if I want to go to their house, but I would have to tell my parents if I went to their house. I'm thinking I don't want to go to yours because you'll make me go to church, and I frankly don't want to do that at all. That sounds worse than living with my mom, is going to church. I'd rather be under her roof than under Jesus's. Okay, sorry. I'd rather sit through my mom's bitching than sitting through your dad preaching. Okay. Both of them light up my brain the same way. Looks like the same Christmas tree. Preaching, bitching. They both end with ching, don't they? Two sides of the same coin, am I right? I'd rather listen to my mom's bitching, because at least there's entertainment in that. My mom's yelling, there's some entertainment in that. I'd rather listen to that. The Jesus stuff is all the same thing. Follow me or you'll regret it. My mom, she says some funny stuff when she's mad. I remember after talking for a bit, Harley's mom said, hey, would you want to go get ice cream at this place by my school? I don't want to say the name or you'll know where I went to school. And I say, no, I'm not really in the mood for ice cream, considering I just ran away from home and I'm 15 and I don't know what I'm doing and I'm scared. We end up coming to the conclusion that we're gonna take me home because, I don't know, she can't just drive around with me forever, and I'm kind of calmed down and I'm thinking, apparently my dad texted her and said that Linda's asleep. My mom, that's Linda. Yeah, that surprise character name insert. Linda's asleep, so if we bring you home now, you can just maybe sneak back to your room and we'll talk to your dad, try to calm him down, and everything will be cream cheese. This is the part where I really appreciate Harley's mom, even though it made it look like she wasn't on my side. She was. She said, I'm gonna say to your dad when we get there, oh, you know, try not to be too mad. This is just something that teenagers do. Teenagers run away. They make big mountains out of molehills. You're doing great as a parent. She warned me that don't be upset if she hears her say that. She's gonna say those things to try to get my dad to be less mad at me. And you know what? I think it worked. When we got back, I went directly past my dad into the house. He said something smart to me like, oh, you're back. Did you have fun? You know, it's sarcastic. I just didn't even look at him, went right to my room. But I didn't close the door all the way. I cracked my bedroom door so I could hear the conversation. My mom was indeed asleep on the couch, so I didn't even see her at this point. The next day, Linda acted like nothing happened, because that's what she would do. Make a big deal about something, take things away, and then the next day act like it didn't happen. She wouldn't give the stuff back right away. I'd still be punished, but she'd act like she wasn't mad at me at all. Well, now you can focus on visualizing the race because you don't have any of your electronics. Actually, I'm gonna sit in my room and think about how much I hate you and look up all the 1-star rated funeral homes, you know? I'm gonna start planning that now. Time flies. I'm on a budget when it comes to your care, Linda. You better hope my big brother starts talking to you again before you can't talk at all. I'll kick your seat. If you live here, every time you fall asleep, I will kick the back of the chair you're dying in. I did hear her say those things, though, Harley's mom. And my dad, the moment they walked away, he slammed the door, and I heard him grumbling, you know, loud enough for me to hear. Bet this was all just a fucking fun game to you, huh, Jess? This was all some silly game, huh? Well, hope you had a good time. Ruining everybody's night. I heard him yelling things like that, but he didn't come back and whip my butt, which I'm sure he was planning, because he would use his belt. The youngest I was when my dad belted me, 2. Wasn't even conscious yet that I was alive, and I would get the belt. I knew what the belt was before I even knew that I was a human being. Didn't get the belt that day. So, thanks, Harley's mom, I guess. No thanks for dragging me to church against my will when I have no other choice. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you want to hear another runaway story, I ran away like 1 more time. Well, actually 2, but I've already told you about the other one. There's a video where I talk about where I ran away from home, and then my dad calls the police on me and reports me as a runaway, even though he told me to get out. Yeah, that story, I'll put it here or somewhere. If I can. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll be here next week, Friday at 3 or Saturday at noon. I'll do a poll so you guys can vote on what you want. Maybe I'll do the one about my friend Ellie, who was a big bully to me that you guys have been asking about. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. Bye!